because I love Blue Eyes deck profiles that much. Hi, Local Dragon Lady here, and time for a old-fashioned physical card deck profile. Yes, I've been doing these very much, but finally had the time to sit down and go through all my Blue Eyes cards here. So this is post-ban list for fall of 2022. Yes, a lot of things has changed. I've actually been building a couple of Blue Eyes decks with this with the new ban list here, and some cards had to be replaced with other things. Now this deck profile is going to focus more around different tech moves. So let's get this started. For monsters, a lot of this is going to be pretty standard. So we got 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons, 2 Blue Eyes Alts, 2 is a really good number, 1 Blue Eyes Jet Dragon. I find more than 1 is pretty bricky, but if you want to hedge your bets, you can use 2, especially if your opponent were to try and banish this. This is DPE for Blue Eyes. As long as you keep a vanilla in your graveyard, this guy's live. So if this guy's in your hand or grave and a card is destroyed by battle card effect, boom, he's special summoned to the field. If he battles before the damage step, you can bounce a card back to your opponent's hand. Also, as long as he stays on the field, all of your cards are protected from destruction by card effect. So this includes your back row. If you got a permanent magic or trap card activated, they cannot target it with destruction effect. So he is really good, and he just keeps coming back. Blue Eyes Abyss Dragon is also a Blue Eyes card. As long as your vanilla is in the graveyard, he has 2 effects. Once he comes out, you can search your deck for a polymerization, and on your end phase, you can add to your hand from the deck a level 8 Dragon Monster, which is really, really good. 1 Chaos Emperor, the Dragon of Armageddon. This is a really good card. You can special summon it by banishing a light and dark monster, which we do have. The Pendulum effect is really good. You can pay 1,000 life points, you can target a banished dragon monster, destroy this card, and you can return that to your hand. And of course, it's a Pendulum monster. If it's in your extra deck, you can special summon it again via the effect of banishing 1 light and 1 dark. So multi-purpose. You can use the effect to send everything to the grave and do damage to your opponent, but that'd be pretty decent if it goes into the late game and your opponent doesn't have a lot of life points left. So at the last minute, you think, okay, get him out and just go for burn damage. 1 Chaos Dragon Lavineer, again, banish a combination of light or dark, free special summon, and can use the effects depending on what you banish. So a combination of light or all dark, which you can certainly do. So you use the effect, you banish depending on the effect that you need. These are both searchable off of the melody, which is really, really good. Also, 1 Galactic Spiral Dragon. I love this card so much. It's so busted. If this card is in your hand or in the graveyard and you have a combination of light or dark dragon monsters, 2 or more, you can special summon this guy from your graveyard or your hand in defense position, and you can use the effect to turn all of your monsters into level 8s, and they don't have to be dragons to do this, and you're not locked into dragons by doing this. That's a kind of a consequence of using Nebula Dragon. It's a really good card for fast XE plays, but it does lock you into light or dark dragon. 3 Dictator of D. You can probably get away with 2 because we won't be doing any of the shenanigans with Needle Fiber, but he's still, at 3, I still think it's pretty good. This guy is basically Magician Souls for Blue Eyes White Dragon. It's amazing. You can special summon him from your hand to the field by sending a Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck to the grave, and if you have a Blue Eyes White Dragon or a card that mentions it in your hand, you can send it to the grave and you can special summon a Blue Eyes monster from your grave to the field, which is amazing. Also, as an added bonus, if he stays on your field and your opponent were to declare an attack, you can redirect that attack to a Blue Eyes monster. So, and a lot of people forget about this effect, which is great, and the attack cannot be redeclared either. So they declare an attack. Okay, it's not going to him. It's going to go to a Blue Eyes monster, and they will take damage for it. 3 Sacred Odds of Blue, very standard, wonderful card, normal summon. You can search for a level 1 like tuner monster. 3 Whitestone of the Ancients, again standard. It hatches into a Blue Eyes monster. You can banish it to recover a Blue Eyes monster from your grave. 1 Whitestone of Legend. It's a mandatory search effect, so it goes to the grave. You can search your deck for a Blue Eyes White Dragon. 1 Jet Synchron. there are multiple ways of getting this to the grave. Use the effect, and you can go into some extended synchro plays. Last but not least, I have one free rand that wins in mischief because it's funny. Really, there's no other reason, because it's funny. But I have taken advantage of the effect, and it does work once it goes off. So basically what happens is, once you normal summon or special summon this monster, you can target a monster you control, and it gains piercing ability for that turn. On your opponent's turn, as a quick effect, you target a face-up monster your opponent controls, and you change its battle position, so you can turn, put into defense position. So because it's a quick effect, it can prevent that monster from attacking, but once you use that effect, this guy returns to your hand. Now the strategy I use for this guy, I always turbo him out during my opponent's turn off the effect of Red X Spheres, because it's a dragon, so you can get this guy from your deck to the field. So on your opponent's turn, right away he comes to the field, you can change your opponent's battle position, then it returns to my hand, and then on my turn, if I have a real strong monster on my side of the field, normal summon, give that monster the piercing ability, and it does piercing damage to that defense monster that I turned into defense position. So yeah, again, it's cheesy, it's funny, trust me, there are far better cards to use in this guy. I just have an affection for this guy, and when it works, it just makes my opponent very confused and perplexed, and they actually think it's pretty cool. Magic cards, some more standard stuff. So we have Melody Awakening Dragon. This is to search out most of your dragons, your Blue Eyes, your Chaos Emperor, your Chaos Dragon Lavenier. 3 trade-in for your draw power. We have 1 Dragon Shrine and 1 Foolish Burial. You can try going for 2 Dragon Shrines if you want, but you can only use it once per turn. So at least if you have a Dragon Shrine and a Foolish Burial in your hand, you can use both. Foolish Burial is mainly to get some quick cards to the grave. Jet Synchron is one of them. Dragon Shrine can get a few useful dragons into the grave. The Spiral Dragon, Galactic Spiral, is one of them because it activates in the grave. And you have 1-for-1. This just helps get tuners out faster. Again, that also includes the Jet Synchron. Some Reborn cards. I have 1 Monster Reborn. It's just really good, extend plays from a monster from your graveyard or from your opponents, depending what they're playing. 2 World Legacy Guard Dragons. This is really good for your synchro plays. You can revive a dragon tuner from your grave to the field. 1 Polymerization, because it's searchable off the effect of Blue Eyes Abyss, and 2 Ultimate Fusion. This is really good for dealing with Mystic Mine. What happens is basically what you do is you summon a Blue Eyes Fusion monster by shuffling the materials from your hand, your field, or your grave to the deck. And of course, depending on the number of Blue Eyes White Dragons you use from the field to use this effect, you can destroy the equal amount of cards. So if you were to get a Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon by using 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons from your grave, well, that's 3 cards that you can pop. And Mystic Mine is one of them because, well, this is the effect off of the magic card. It's not the effect off the monster, so yeah, that's really, really helpful. Traps, not that many. 3 Skill Drain, yes, because it's still playable at 3. Skill Drain is one of those cards that's only useful in a couple of decks. Blue Eyes is one of them. Blue Eyes, it consists of very strong, powerful monsters, so you get those guys out first, and then you activate Skill Drain. It's really a battle of the beat sticks at this point, and there is one card that can bypass that, which I'll show you from the extra deck. And we have 3 copies of Even Impertinence because one of the best hand traps. Especially if you're going second, you can activate this from your hand if you don't have control any cards, or you can just set it. And yeah, all of these cards are recyclable due to a certain monster in the extra deck. Okay, I'm going to start the extra deck off with fusion monsters. I don't have that many, but the main fusion monster is a Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon. This guy is amazing, and it's almost a win condition in this deck. So what happens is he can attack all your opponent's monsters. He's immune to all trap effects, and yes, this does include Skill Drain. However, you need to have the Blue Eyes Tyrant out first and then activate the Skill Drain, because if Skill Drain comes out first, well then bam, he's not going to get any of his effects. Another great thing about this card is once he battles, so even if your opponent were to summon into him, if you have any traps in your graveyard, you can pick one and from the grave and you can set it. So that means even if all your skill drains are in the graveyard, use up all your Even Impertinence, doesn't matter. If he battles, you can recover one and reuse it. Next, I have a Blue Eyes Alternative Ultimate Dragon. he's a really good beat stick and great protection. He cannot be destroyed or targeted by any card effects. And if you do this move right, you have the potential to destroy up to 7 cards with this guy. Once he comes out, if Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon was one of those monsters, okay, he can target and destroy 3 cards. This includes the back row. If you use the Ultimate Fusion and use the effect of Blue Eyes Alt first, then you can pop 6 cards. So he comes out and he can pop 1 card. Use Ultimate Fusion to combine him with 2 other Blue Eyes White Dragons in the field. This can pop 3 other cards, and once this guy comes out, he can also pop 3 further cards. So there you go. With these 3 cards, you can pop 7. So yeah, it doesn't happen often, but I'm just saying that you can do it if you really, really want to. And 1 Blue Eyes Twin Burst Dragon. This is really good spot removal that often gets overlooked, and he doesn't need polymerization to come out, which is great. So it just needs 2 Blue Eyes White Dragons, contact fusion, he can attack twice. Cannot be destroyed by battle, and if he does attack something that has a higher attack power than he does, even though you'll still take the damage, he will banish that monster he slammed into, and it's non-targeting, so that monster cannot rely on that kind of protection. Synchro Monsters, we have quite a few Synchro plays here. So the first one is standard, the Blue Eye Spirit Dragon. It's a grave effect. It's good for derailing any pendulum summoning that your opponent may be doing. Also, you can tribute this monster off and bring in a light dragon synchro monster, which there are a few targets. One is the Azure Eyes Silver Dragon, which is really good. Once he comes out, until the end of the next turn, all dragon monsters you have cannot be targeted or destroyed by effects. So yeah, and if he stays in your field on your next standby phase, you can revive a Blue Eyes monster from your grave to the field. So really good for that. Another one is the Black Rose Moonlight Dragon. This is a real good interrupter. If you were to tribute Blue Eyes Spirit on your opponent's turn to get out Black Rose Moonlight, you can target a monster your opponent controls and it gets bounced back to the hand. The only problem is that this will get destroyed at the end of the turn. So I prefer to do this during my turn for some additional synchro effects. One is the Borlo Savage. So there are some link monsters in this deck. So what you can do is, once you get out the Black Rose Moonlight Dragon, you can summon another tuner, or you can use the effect of Jack Synchron to recover from the grave, and you can synchro off and do Borlo Savage Dragon. It's an Omni Negate, can't go wrong with that. Another one is the Crystal Wing Synchron Dragon. This is a monster negate, and it can pretty much beat over anything your opponent controls, providing it's of a special summon with a certain level. So yes, it's the same method. Blue Eye Spirit, get out Black Rose Moonlight, and if you use a Jet Synchron or even just normal or revive a tuner, you can go into this guy along with the Black Rose Moonlight. So yeah, so there's a few tech plays you can do with all of these synchros. For links, not a whole lot. We got 1 Heavenly Seal of the Heavenly Spheres, you know, self-explanatory. You need 2 dragon monsters to get this guy out. I mostly use it, you know, as an interrupter to bounce when my opponent's monster is not targeting. And you can also get out that Friedran, the Winds and Mischiefs, but you can go into the Amorphic Live play to, you know, lock out your opponent's extra deck. 1 Protector Whelp. There are occasions that you'll have more than dragon monsters on your field. This guy is another way to extend your play to get into the spheres, because Protector Whelp only needs 2 monsters to get out. And I've done this. So if I need 2 dragons and I can't go into the seal, all right, I can get into this dragon, then link off into the seal, and there you go, I'm going with those plays. 1 Relinquished Anima. You can also use Link Karibo. This is just a quick way to summon a level 1 tuner and basically link off and Relinquish Anima to get the effect of the tuner in the grave. But if your opponent happens to have a monster in a link, you know, in an extra monster zone, you can link up and do Anima, take control of that card, and, well, absorb the card, and you gain the attack power, which I've done numerous times, and most people still forget about Anima's play. So, yeah, that is very viable. Xyz Monsters, 1 Hope Harbinger, generic rank 8. You can negate a magic card effect, absorb it, and if your opponent were to declare an attack, you can redirect the attack into this guy. 1 Zombie Vampire. I still love this card. It's still a generic rank 8. Very easy to do with Blue Eyes. It's a Foolish Burial and Monster Reborn all in one. Detaching material, and both you and your opponent have to mill the top 4 cards of each of your decks. which is good because we do have a lot of grave effects, but you can also revive one of those cards to your side of the field. So if you have, if your opponent milled something that was important to them, you can take that card away from them, and depending what it is, you can extend your plays. One Lancelot, generic rank 8. This is a mandatory monster negation, so make sure you get this guy out last, otherwise if you activate something, you have to negate it. But this guy can attack directly, and against material, you can destroy a card if he inflicts damage. One common play that I do with this guy is once you do attack, going to main phase 2, you can overlay into Zeus. And yeah, just detach a bunch of material and just clear the whole field. So yeah, that play is, and that my dragon is my other blue eyes white dragon deck profile. I mean, nothing competitive, it's just a fun generic blue eyes that I just still like playing. It's just still an enjoyable janky deck to go with. So what do y'all think? Let me know in the comments below, and remember to be a good sport, to play the game, not the fame.